Hello and welcome back to another Unison League discussion with Jeremy and Elaine. Today, we're going to be giving you our thoughts on the raid feature event thing. The raids.
The raid system. I absolutely hate raid.
We've discussed this many a time,
Yes.
sir.
It is my least favorite thing about Unison League.
Because
it's stupid. It just ends up being somebody getting a bunch of status effects on you and you just not being able to do anything for minutes on end.
Explain.
Well, I mean, the first one that you go up against, like, early in the day, you usually can get through a few monsters. But once you hit that certain level of monster that's just going to start status affecting you over and over and over again, you're just, like, confused and paralyzed and blinded and all at once. And it's just kind of, cool, I'm sitting here for another 10 minutes doing nothing.
Well, do you ever think it's because you're a noob and you don't have a lot of, like, unlocked potentials and things that help reduce their chance of getting confused and shit?
No, because they just do it over and over again. It's gonna get on you eventually.
It's gonna get on you eventually?
Yeah.
What is it, a disease?
It's an affliction.
Affliction, sir. That's like a disease. Kind of,
yeah,
not really.
It's a status ailment.
So you don't like it.
No.
I am also not a fan, and not necessarily for the same reasons. Like, yes, it's annoying that they do use a lot of, like, status ailments, and then, like, hey, let's reduce your nice unison gauge there that you worked very hard to build up. I don't like it because, unlike Guild Battle, which can end before, like, the 15-minute timer, if you want to play to the best of your ability, have to be there for the full 15 minutes, 7.5 minutes, depending on which session it is. And it's like, I have a life. Like, I don't want to sit there and play this event for 15 minutes or even 7 minutes because it's just not... Like, I want to do other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the average guild battle that we play in is usually, like, 3 or 4 minutes most of the time.
Yeah, 5, 6, but it's harder if you're
but, like,
actives.
Popping onto raid, there's really no point in just popping onto raid besides getting credit for it. You're not going to win if nobody's active, so you're kind of, like, required to be active, and it does waste a lot of time.
Well, yeah, because there's really no benefit to having inactive just from the standpoint of, like, you don't want to do things that, take up more time, like match monsters in raid because it wastes time.
And I feel like the CPU tends to gravitate towards matching monsters usually.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's designed across the board to try and match. And also, like, you don't have as much of an ability to, like, plan with each other and tailor, like, who's bringing, like, what utility and who's bringing, like, what buff and when you're going to use a certain type of monster. If, let's say, like, you have one person who's like, hey, I'm low on cost, let me use a cost recovery monster, but then everyone goes up and everyone's using a cost recovery monster, and it's like, well, I could only recover so much cost. Like, this was not a good time for us all to use our cost recovery monsters. You know what I mean? Like, little things like that you just can't really do unless your entire guild is active, and obviously guilds that don't have a full group of people, so the full 10 are at a disadvantage because you get the useless computer players who, aren't up to snuff. Usually their stats are lower, they have the outdated monsters, and they're really not.
They're like throwing 22 cost monsters up there.
They're not that bad, but they got Joan, poor Joan.
The Doulahan captains.
They're not that bad. But
I definitely feel like I've seen some CPUs throw some Doulahans out there.
But I feel like that's in the quest, not for raid.
Yeah, it's true.
So, we're talking about raid right now.
Well,
stay on topic.
How can we make raid better? I feel like a better way to make raid a system that's a little bit more fun is maybe have a set number of monsters. Maybe have, like, 5 monsters, 4 of them being a little bit weak. Maybe they get progressively harder, and then you have, like, a boss monster, and you're trying to beat them the fastest or something like that. And maybe you pick 5 people that go to raid instead of your entire team having to go, and that's more likely that you'll be able to get a full team of actual players instead of CPUs.
That's true, but I mean, we've talked about this too. Like, the original system is you would face one monster, and you get a certain amount of time to face the one monster, and only 5 people would be fighting it at a time, so you had reserves, which I think was a better system. I think it was a lot more manageable for people just because, again, not everyone can be on all the time. People have school, they have work, they have a life. But also, it's just, like, it's more fun. You know what you're facing. You don't have to deal with, like, a bunch of different issues at once and try to manage it. And then usually, if you're a better guild, you didn't have to be there the whole time because you would beat it before time was up, and then you could leave. And then you got special, like, stamp rewards and things, which I thought was much nicer than what we do now, where it's like this big disorganized mess, and maybe you get a special reward the next day in your inbox, but you're not really sure. And then you get paired with, like, guilds that, like, seriously outrank you, which is kind of weird, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think any kind of combination of those kind of things we were just talking about, which were very similar in general.
But mine was better, obviously.
Well, yours was the old system, so.
Mine was better, obviously. Anyway.
But and I think that those are definitely ways that they could improve upon it. I'm not really sure why they do it the way that they do now.
Because they want to make everyone be involved. They want everyone to be included. Okay. Even though they don't exist. Because they're not active. So they don't exist anymore.
So they're not really accomplishing what they're trying to. But do you have any other thoughts on Raid?
I don't like it either. Maybe not as much as you don't like it, but I don't like it either.
I audibly groan every time I see that it's Raid.
You do. You do that. That's accurate.
It's like, it's Raid today, damn it.
Pretty much accurate. Do you wanna close the video? Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah.
I mean, leave a comment down below on your thoughts on Raid. Any suggestions that you have that might be able to help improve it. And if you like these kind of discussion videos, let us know by liking the video. And, subscribing, right?
Subscribing is good.
Yeah.
Ring that bell so you know what's up.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.